I think the story of the Community Foundation of Mississauga and its growth over the past 10 years is really a definition of the very word community. Community is many things to many people. It's not just a city, but it's the neighborhoods, the diverse communities within Mississauga. And it's the story of how people stepped up to make a very young community foundation grow and be successful and have a significant impact on Mississauga. Particularly pivotal to the Community Foundation was in 2010 when the Community Foundation realized the dream, the early vision of people like Lori Pallett, Merle Zorb, Colin Mason, and presented almost $750,000 back out in community grants, the highest year of granting yet for the Young Community Foundation. And in the end, it is people who made that possible. Those volunteers who stepped up to move the Community Foundation forward. Those volunteers who served on the first board of directors and the first committee, or the volunteers who continue to serve on the board of directors on our many committees and out in the broader community. And then essential to all of that, because it is at the heart of what a community foundation is, are our donors. Those people who made philanthropic gifts to create endowed funds and a sustainable source of granting to the broadest range of community initiatives in Mississauga.
You know, a community is only as great as its people.
In 1997, a few of us at the Mississauga Arts Council and Lori Pallett were tired of going to the city to ask for funding for the arts. So we said, wouldn't it be nice if the city had a community foundation? It didn't. It was the largest city in Canada not to have a community foundation. So we made a presentation to the city.
I learned a lot about a foundation when Merle Zorb and Lori Pallett came to me back in 1997 when they got the idea of starting a foundation. So then I learned a lot. They brought me a lot of information, how beneficial a foundation was to a community. Merle Zorb, president of the Mississauga Arts Council, and welcome, Merle. Sorry to keep you waiting.
You have before you a report about community foundations, which really have been successful in many other larger and smaller Canadian cities. This is a long-term project, and we are only talking here about initiating a study which would establish whether or not our community really fits one of these.
I felt that a city, such a young city such as Mississauga, needed a lot of support for the arts.
Wouldn't it be nice that in 10 or 15 years from now that we would have a strong community foundation built up that could support many of our financial needs in the community, and we wouldn't have to come as the Mississauga Arts Council and many others would have to come to ask because we'd be really working on interest money.
And again, when I looked at the cities across Canada, the cities that have been established for over 100 years, I knew that you had to bring about projects that would support the arts.
If we can grow the same way we have in the last 10 years, in the next 10 years, we will be able to help all kinds of charities and make Mississauga a much nicer place to live.
It has made such a major difference to so many community organizations. Organizations that might not have been able to receive funding from other sources.
The good news is that 10 years further on, all of Council have absolutely more than bought in. They strongly support the Community Foundation and are seeing the value every day within our city. So it's been a great success and will continue to be a success into our future.
Those grants have just been, I say manna from heaven. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. It's just wonderful. It is given the organizations the ability to do what they need to do, but wouldn't have been able to without those resources.
I think there's a lot of ways today that people can contribute, and it's happening.
We realized that the Community Foundation was the most efficient and direct way to help people not only in the present, but in the future years to come.
The fact that folks who are contributing to the foundation, folks who live and work and Mississauga is their home, are contributing into the foundation, and their dollars are getting distributed back out to all of the agencies and folks who make applications. So it's the folks within Mississauga contributing to many of the organizations within their own cities.
Getting involved in your community just makes sense. It's our way of thanking our staff, our clients, and our community as a whole in a way that truly does matter.
And I don't know how much one gives back as to one actually receives. I find that in the work that I do for the foundation, I'm giving on one hand, but I'm receiving as well a sense of fulfillment, a sense of higher purpose.
The most gratifying thing to me is, and where I think the rubber meets the road, is to see the faces on the folks that are the recipients of the grants, because you can just tell for some of them it's a game changer.
It has instilled in me, and I think a lot of other people as well, a real sense of belonging and a purpose to do things for our community.
And the foundation will always be there to service the needs within our city across a spectrum of issues and causes.
It makes a large city like Mississauga become more smaller community. It gives it a heart, gives it a feeling. And that's what the donors are doing when they contribute money to the foundation.
In the next 10 years, what do we dream of for the Community Foundation of Mississauga? Needless to say, we dream of continued growth in endowed assets, because it's endowed assets that will translate into granting back to the community. We dream of having an impact on all of the many programs and services that make Mississauga a great place to live, work, and play. So we dream of a bright future. Mississauga is Canada's 6th largest city. We will continue to grow, and we dream of being Canada's 6th largest community foundation as well. And what does that mean for Mississauga? It means essential support to wonderful programs and services that impact everybody in our community. So again, at heart, it is the story of people. People who reach out to help their neighbors, their friends, and their broader community. And we will build a stronger, more vital community foundation, and in turn, a stronger, more vital Mississauga.